Hey everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Brigid Kemmerer. I got this off of Edelweiss.
I think Edelweiss?
Yeah, because I'm like too nervous about changing my NetGalley rating.
Oh.
It's weird. Anyway, this is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely. And basically it picks up where it ends off. But in this book, we're focusing more on Gray and a new character, because I don't recall her in the previous book.
Her mother was in the previous book, but I don't remember, if she was very secondary.
So a new character, Liamara. And basically what happens is Gray kind of, and this will be spoilers for the previous book, but we're going to try to stay away from spoilers for this book. But basically, Gray finds out that he's the true heir to the throne. He kind of goes off and hides, so he's kind of working at a tourney, which I'm assuming is like a jousting event.
Right.
Kind of just mucking stalls and stuff and pretending that he's not part of the royal guard or never had that life before. And Ren is desperate to find him and find the heir, and because supposedly the heir has magic, and Ren doesn't want magic in his kingdom at all.
Well, and Ren wants to keep the throne.
Because there's some insurgency going on over people who think that he's not the true heir and they don't want him to be king.
Which Gray is older, so he is the true heir. Unless you start to play with lines of, legitimacy and all that stuff.
So yeah. And then the other character is Liamara, who's the daughter to
she's the evil queen.
daughter of the evil queen, who basically is coming to basically try to form an alliance with Ren, for economic purposes. And so she's trying to marry off her heir, who is not the oldest daughter, but the youngest daughter.
Liamara is the oldest daughter.
The oldest daughter.
Not the queen who's trying to marry anybody off.
And then, so the younger sister. So basically they're on their way over to Ren's kingdom, Emberfall, to make this connection. And the return of events, both Gray and Liamara end up prisoners there, and they escape together through means and ways. I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah,
and essentially they kind of start this journey kind of back to a different place.
And there's
about
Gray's magic. I had a hard time with this book. I loved the first book. I think I read the first book in 36 hours. And it's long. It's over 400 pages long.
I really like Gray. I really don't connect to Liamara.
I didn't care about Liamara. And honestly, thinking about it, I think I like Gray because we saw Gray through Harper's eyes.
No, I like Gray as Gray.
But I feel like we were watching Gray on the outside. I don't know how I feel about his internal monologue, his narrative. And I mean, I enjoyed the Gray parts, but I liked Gray coming into this book. This book did not have to make me like Gray.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if I would have liked Gray if I picked him up from here, but I like kind of his growth. I like where he came from.
Technically, I feel like you could start the series here.
Oh, you could.
I would not recommend it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Well, I feel bad that I don't like Liamara, because she's a sympathetic character, but she's
we don't get a lot
not
of her.
Harper.
We also don't get a lot of Gray and Liamara on the page together. There's a lot of, and as we traveled together for weeks, as we were at the castle together for weeks, but there's none of those interactions. And I feel like the thing I loved in the first book were the interactions, and not even just the romantic Ren and Harper.
No.
Harper and Gray
were the characters,
right?
I mean, the character development that happens in those interactions.
Yeah, you had this great relationship between Harper and Gray that you don't get. I did like Harper's brother Jake, and I liked Noah.
Yeah, actually, Jake and Noah did grow.
I would read a whole book about Jake and Noah. But there was just something it didn't grab me. It took me not months. It took me about a month. And the first chapter, there's a chapter that's I think it's from Harper's perspective, and then there's a chapter from Gray's perspective, and then we got to Liamara, and I was
I miss Harper. I miss Harper and I miss Ren.
And Harper is so secondary in this, and Harper feels like she's getting pushed into the damsel role. Yeah. And she was never the damsel in the book, and I don't like that.
And that was kind of the point of the first book, that she's not the damsel. Right,
and I don't like the way what she's doing to Ren. I feel like, and I was telling you, I feel like it's very similar to what Sarah J. Maas did in her second Court of Thorn and Roses. and I can't remember the character's name, but like the love interest in the first book ended up being like the bad guy in the second book. And I kind of feel like that's what we're going this way, and it's hard for me because you wrote a character I liked, you wrote a character I connected with, and now you're like, maybe not so much.
I have to know what happens in the end, so I'm definitely going to keep reading it. It's just this.
I'm hoping
this didn't go as smoothly as the first one.
I'm hoping this is a middle book syndrome. I'm hoping it's because I don't think she intended to write 3 books.
Especially because the ending was super confusing. I mean, I had to reread it a couple times.
I read it
and I still don't know what happened.
But like, I think I know what happened. I just don't see how that's going to fit in with the rest of the narrative.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
all right.
I'm going to keep reading, and I'm going to keep reading Kemmerer.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to keep pushing her,
right?
Telling people about her
because I put her stuff on display all the time, and it goes out.
This was
not
more
my favorite.
of a challenge to read.
I'm hoping that when we get to the end, you're going to be like, oh,
like you needed that middle book to get there,
right?
That's what I'm hoping and expecting.
I just, as of now, I'm not in love with it.
All right, so we're ready to rate. So our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it doesn't get a horn and is therefore a horse. Where are you?
I'm at a 3, and I think that's just because I liked the first book so much.
I'm at a 3, and I think that, but I think it's because of Gray. Like, I really like Gray.
Right. And
I like Gray, and I like the potential for him. So I think and maybe that's because it's remnants left over from the first book. Right. I don't know, but I like Gray, and I liked reading his parts. So
that is where we are.
We'll see you around.
Bye.